presenting. The speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. The speech is entitled by Toastmaster Journey. Please welcome Maryanne Pierce.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
When I walked into Toastmaster at the end of 2016, I wasn't scared. I think when I became scared is the first speech. But what I remember about that moment is the welcome that I received. I was a little bit nervous. I had researched what club was best for me. And I came in, said, "This is for me, sign me up." So I found out that the first part of the speeches were to wait for these two books to come in the mail. So sometimes there is a time period because it's a manual process. So I waited, and it takes a few weeks, but I was excited a little bit about doing the icebreaker. Then I had a mentor that said, well, you don't need the book, this is what you need to do. Just tell us a story about you, whatever you want to do. So the one thing I learned about when I did my icebreaker is don't have an emotional story. You're scared anyways, you come up here and you're giving the speech, and at the very end, when you touch on that moment that touches your heart, you're like, oh my God, there's gonna be tears. But the scary part of that, I think it will always be there anytime we're doing a speech. So to help us prepare for all of those moments, as far as your introduction, when you're writing it out, to actually planning your speech, I'm really guilty about not putting enough time and effort into that. What I wanted to speak about today was how the journey of Toastmasters, not only for myself, but for the organization. So we did have the manual process. It still is in place for those that are finishing it, which I do need to finish my competent leader book, to the part that now it is Pathways. Pathways has been a learning experience for all of us. The nice part of it is if you've been in Toastmasters for years, you're used to that process. You have the manual, everything's there, it reminds you of what you need to do, even if it's 5 minutes before the meeting and you have to do that little refresher. It had everything recapped. Pathways is a little bit different. When you're logging into Pathways, you really need to, just like you would with the manual books, but you just need to do your homework. You need to take the time, you need to invest in what you want to get out of Toastmasters is really what I'm trying to say. The tools are still there, so we do have tools as far as the manual process when I started. The apps, you have a timer app that's available. You can go on there and you can set that timer when you're practicing, and it will help you not only make sure that you're carrying your speech through, but also that you're in the time range. Another one I recently learned about is a teleprompter app, which is really cool because you can put your speech in just like the news people do, and it feeds on your phone or your tablet, and it helps you to practice your speeches. So that's another tool that has been around. I wasn't aware of it. It's been around and it is there today as well. What Toastmasters' goal with Pathways is to do is to put everything in, of course, current technology, going in, and you're able to actually determine what your goal is. Everybody's different on what they're wanting to do in life and what they need for their jobs or what their journey is. If in front of you, I put together just a walk through what those paths are. If you want to turn those over right now. And what I did is when I first logged in, like hopefully everybody else is doing and actively working on, you're given a survey, and that gives you the ability to choose based on what you answered, what your two paths are. If that end result is not what you had in mind, of course, you can go back and change it. The difference with what I found personally when I was transitioning from the manual process to Pathways is that there are times that I just want there to be more information, because I'm used to how the books were. They went above and beyond. That information is there in Pathways. There are so many different resources. So you would look at the speeches and the path, the way they have it designed is the way they've always done, is they'll do it at a beginning point and they build up to it so that they're building your skill set for that module that you're working on. There are tools in addition as well. When you're looking through the resources, if you're needing more information, it really is just taking that time to look to see what your personal need is, and that's how it's built. In addition to that, you're not just at the mercy of that website. So sometimes the website cannot be as friendly or intuitive to me. So what I've done is I've called Toastmasters International. I've spoken with them and said, I'm having a little trouble navigating here. They're your resource. Valley Toastmasters, all of the members are your resources, as well as your mentors, helping you guide through not only the different tools that are out there to help you, but also their experience is valuable, and they'll, especially for those that like to procrastinate, because we always have 1,000 things going on. I'm the one that at the night before is going, oh, I have a speech tomorrow? And I may have it jumble it around in my head, but haven't quite got down on paper. So I hope you use this tool that we put together. And what I did is we were working on our Toastmasters, our corporate group, and we wanted an introduction from square one because they just weren't familiar with it. So hopefully along with this, and using your tools and resources, whether they're apps or Valley Toastmasters members or the Toastmasters International, I really hope you go through, work with the tools, and have an exciting journey in Toastmasters.